What's up, YouTube? So before I finish my evening, I wanted to get on here real quick and share my thoughts on multi-level marketing, insurance distribution. A few months ago, I dropped a video where I talked about what I felt about MLM distribution. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and post that video here in the bottom section. But today, as I was surfing YouTube, I came across two channels that really caught my attention because they happened to talk about MLM distribution. So, what I wanted to do for all of you guys that have considered joining an insurance agency, are you going an independent route or are you choosing to do the MLM network marketing distribution approach? If you don't know which way to go, you definitely want to watch this. But the way I want to go about this is I want to share with you guys sound bites of this, you know, message of multi-level marketing insurance distribution from two channels and take a closer look at how they break down these compensation structures. And what you'll notice is that most of the time, multi-level marketing organizations are designed to recruit. So they sell insurance by recruiting, and their compensation is designed to incentivize people like me and you to recruit others and repeat the process. Now, hey, this video is not designed to talk bad about any company. We're just using information that's out there to help you understand so you can make a decision whether you want to go down the route of being an independent agent like I am, or down the route of teaming up with a multi-level marketing company that distributes insurance. And there's many of them out there. In this particular case, the video is addressing one company that presented their information, but you got WFG, Primerica, PFA, and on of MLM insurance distribution. Now, as a whole, these organizations sell tons of insurance. So the insurance companies, they're happy. But what does it mean to you as the agent that's looking at an MLM avenue to build your career in the financial service industry? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you guys two videos, again, just clips. And what I want you guys to take a look here, and this is channel 180, Life 180. This guy right here, he got some great information, excellent channel, and I really recommend you go and subscribe to his channel because I've really enjoyed his content. And I want you to look at this again as you're considering building, growing, and if you decide to go down an MLM structure, I want you to see the amount of work that is required. So take a close look here. And just listen carefully and watch the breakdown.
A trainee is somebody that gets started with us. All right, so I'm sure they're going to blow past this. So let me just pause here. Trainee. So here they start you at 30%. This is the one thing I want to let everybody know. National Life Group is their main carrier. National Life Group, I know for a fact that they probably, well, I can't say I know for a fact. I know that National Life Group offers 150% contract. And so what does that mean? That means out of that 150, they're paying you and require you to do here. You do the same stuff. You'd have to market on your own. You wouldn't have the same support of the PHP organization and all that stuff. But one of the things that drives me crazy is they're like, you can only do this if you use this structure. But the bottom line is, they bring you in and they say, we're going to give you 30% when they got 120 points extra on top. Your manager, your upline, whatever they call, I don't even know what they call it in this organization yet. I'm sure they're going to get into it. But your upline has to do split work with you. So they split cases. They go out, they train, they work with you. They do what they call joint work, and they'll split the case with you. So 50% of the compensation goes to you, 50% goes to them for training you. So the
He's
problem
right.
is your 50%, you get paid at 30%, right? And so you're essentially only getting a 15% commission on the entire deal that you brought to the table. Your upline, your manager, gets compensated at whatever their commission rate is on their side of the split. Plus, they get compensated on the override, the spread between their commission and your commission on your portion of the sale as well. So when I say it's an internal consumption model, this is the problem. Starting trainees at 30% to me is unethical because there's so much more there. It's a moral hazard because what happens is, well, actually, I'm not going to go there because I don't know how they're going to show that in this video. So let me just have it go and I'll keep going.
3%. To become an associate, you need to bring on board 3 business partners, 3 policies, $3,000, 10 license, you become an associate.
Okay, so what this shows, okay, this is just where I was going. Perfect. Thank you for the layup. So what this is saying is to get to an associate from a trainee, that's a 10% pay bump, which is still really bad. You need to get 3 direct trainees, meaning you need to recruit 3 people. You need to submit 3 applications, so meaning recruit 3 people and sell those 3 people a policy, essentially. And have 3,000 submitted points, meaning, I don't know how they do the point system, but like 1,000 points per app on average, or if you have smaller average case size, policy size, you can do more than 3 submitted apps. So you need all 3 of those things to happen. This is where I say it's an internal consumption model and it's a moral hazard because what happens is you get a bunch of people out there, and this happens with PHP and WFG horribly in the sense that they get a bunch of people out there who don't know what they're doing, recruiting people to what they don't understand, and selling products and policies that they're not fully clear about.
Chargeback heaven.
Right? And so now they're leaning and relying completely on their manager upline. I don't know if they call them still yet, but they're leaning on them completely, and it's horrible. Like, in order, first of all, you should never start anybody below 50% because you can go work with a career agency and get 50% and have all the upside. Listen, that's what I did, and the opportunity still exists. You know, starting off people here, it's just really making it harder for people, and then making people split work with their manager makes it even harder. And like, yeah, it's just disgusting.
To become an FA, you need to do 15 policies, 15 recruits, $15,000 of.
So to get to 50%, you need, you need to, it looks like it's about the same amount of recruits, probably the 3 because they didn't add any more there. You need to submit 15 applications, which by the way, out of the gate is pretty hard. And your first 15 are the hardest. And so that's a lot of money. I mean, you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you're getting paid 30% or 40% over those first,
And one of the things I want to add, guys, is what he's talking about submitting 15 applications. This is 0 leads. So this is all relationship marketing strategies where you're talking friends, family about insurance. So there's no leads in this type of model. It's 100% relationship marketing. Let's continue listening.
Policies, the person, well, think about it, at 15,000 submitted points, I don't know how they work it. If it's a base premium dollar is a point, if that's the case, and they have 150% contract, that's $22,500 in commission. But out of that, only $22,500 in total commission potentially, if I'm navigating that right. And
production within 90 days, you become an FA.
And one direct associate. So one of your people needs to be promoted apparently. So that I paused too early. The other thing I would say is with this, like my biggest problem with this is the fact that they do not require training. Like, I mean, I'm sure they require training inside, they give training, whatever, but I've heard from countless agents that their training is focused on recruiting and not product education. So first and foremost, but there's no, to me, if you want to have an ethical compensation plan and you want to have people who are joining you to really teach financial literacy and coach people, your initial stages of the business, if not for greed, should be about serving people, should be about coaching and educating and teaching your agents how to go out and have the right education around the products, and so they can go out and sell with people. Now,
Amen.
if that means you have to do joint work, well, go do joint work with people. You could split cases, you could do all that stuff. If you're going to do that, start them at a higher commission base, because that would make it equitable. But the problem is there's too much greed on the top end of this comp plan for the people who are leaders, and there's too little available for the new people.
To become a director, you need 30 recruits, 30 out of $60,000. You need
I'm gonna let
6
it
licensed
rip
agents
through all this.
and 2 direct FAs. So now to become a marketing director, which means now you're going to participate in more bonuses, more meetings, different kind of reporting. You're now at 75% contracts at marketing director level. You need 50 recruits, 50 out to $100,000 in 90 days with either 3 direct FAs or 1 direct director, 1 direct FA, 15 licensed agents. You do that, you become a marketing.
So just by the way, if you started it independently, once again, you could start at a 90% contract. Here, look what you're having to do just to get to that level. But you think about what that extra 60%, if you hit this level, 100,000 points, that's an extra 100 grand in your pocket, maybe. I don't know, like it's a lot of money extra in your pocket. And you know, you get to recruit people. Yes, there's a spread, there's extra income that will come from all that, and that's fine and good. But once again, you could do that in any organization. You could do that independently if you're good at recruiting. The bottom line is the thing that drives me nuts about this is the people that are going to succeed in this business are going to succeed. They don't need the PhD thing. And I'd be curious to see what PhD is actually doing for their agents to market, to help give them tools for marketing, what they're offering for actual training on the product education. You know, I've talked to dozens of PhD people to this point in time. Not one of them has been able to break down for me how an index universal life policy actually works, like really down to the T. And to me, that's a scary thing when you have a whole organization with tens of thousands of agents out there just selling something that they don't fully understand.
So now, let's set those aside. Now let's talk about senior management position. The first one starts off with SMD. And the formula is quite simple if you follow through here with this. Senior marketing director, now you go from 75% to that additional 2%, which is 77%. To become an SMD, you need a...
Yeah, so you see 100 up to 122% there. That's just showing they got a real big contract. There's a lot of money in this thing, and it's really top heavy for the team. Like, believe me, if you can make this work and if you can get to be a leader, there's a ton of money in there. Outside of the fact that I have a big problem with the actual product that they're selling, you know, and the fact that I think there's not enough money in the compensation to keep it fair for the new people, the upside of this contract and the comp plan seems like you could make a crap ton of money.
100 recruits, $200,000 in 90 days. You need 2 direct MDs, 60 licensed agents to become an SMD. To become an EMD, now you need 4 direct MDs to promote. You also need 200 recruits, $400,000, and 120 licensed agents to become an EMD. Then the next one was a senior vice president position.
I don't know if you realize how hard it is to build a team of 120 people. Pretty challenging.
So when you become a vice president, this is a method of saying you know what you're doing, because now you've promoted 6 direct MDs. You've done 300 recruits, 300 apps, 600,000 points in 90 days, and you have 180 licensed agents. And VP is typically making $250,000 to $500,000 your income when you become a vice president. So now the next level is to become an executive vice president. At this point, again, you're at 80% because SMD is 77%, then it's 78, 79. Now you're at 80% comp on anything you write and override. When to become an EVP, you need 4 direct marketing directors. You need 400 apps. points in 90 days and 240 licensed agents to become an EVP. Then comes the council category. So you've gone from the senior and executive marketing directors. Now you've gone to senior and executive vice presidents. Now it becomes the council, which there's 3 levels: president council, chairman council, and there's board council. The board council, you get invited to a special meeting that we do every year that's with all the carriers and the investors that are in the room. Board councils get invited to that meeting, and a specific board council will be chosen to speak when they go to that meeting. But let's first talk about the president's council. President's council is someone who gets 10 direct MDs. You get 500 recruits, 500 apps, $1 million in 90 days, and you have 300 licensed agents.
I mean, I don't know if I'm going to have patience to go through this whole thing.
So I love the way he breaks this down. You know, you did a great job, Patrick did, in explaining exactly how many recruits you need to grow in your contract. And I've been selling insurance 18 years, and everything that I've seen here, it's not as easy when you're just starting out, guys. Again, he broke down the contracts, and the gentleman at Life 180, he's right. When you are an independent and you own your own agency, well, you're going to get big comp, anywhere from 120 to 150. From that, you pay your downline agents. And as you guys can see, if you elect to start a career in the MLM, you're going to start with low comps, no leads. And the most important is training. I have never worked for this company. I like Patrick. I like his content on Valuetainment. But when I see this, again, it's just a reminder of why I myself am not in the MLM business, where I'm motivated to recruit. Because it's more than just recruiting, ladies and gentlemen. It's training. It's showing someone how to sell insurance. For us, we're in final expense, which is a simplified issue product. And even with final expense, agents fail. You know, the failure rate in our business is very, very high. And then if you combine lack of training, no leads, it's only going to make that guaranteed failure. And let me show you another video. And this is from CoffeeZilla. And again, I'm just going to share with you guys just sound bites to help all of you guys understand the difference between being an independent agent or taking the route of an MLM distribution. And listen to this gentleman.
Plans. So it better be good. So we got to go through a little bit of this. The first thing you have to notice, this is a measure of the average of the life licensed agents in the period of January through December 31st, 2019. So I wanted to make sure to get 2019's income disclosure because I know COVID shook things up. I didn't want to, get that in the mix. So this is that, and it's for agents that got their license, because I know you have to get like licensed with these kinds of businesses. So I wanted to make sure we measured the licensed agents, and they said this is licensed agents. Well, let's check out the numbers. $800,000 of income. That's pretty good. Well, how many people get that? 0.13%. Okay. So it drops pretty steeply off from that. Okay. 300,000, not bad. 0.14%. Now going on from that, like you basically have 1% of people making a really good income, it seems like. If 0.75% make $148,000, that's a great living. You're going to do very well with that. Well, now we drop into the middle class, right? 1% of the people do that. It's still great. Still good compensation. Here's where it really falls off. Down here, I don't know if you can see that, 64% of paid agents, these are agents getting paid, made $200. The vast majority of people who made money with PHP barely paid off their enrollment fee of $200 that year. You hardly broke even on an enrollment fee, over half. Now, 20% of them made $2,000 in a single year. Terrible income. Let's just be honest. That's like a side hustle at best. 7,000, same thing. 6% of people make that, meaning that about 90% of PHP's employees also make less than, take a guess. Everyone got their guess ready? McDonald's employees. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the number one compensation plan in MLM, the thing that's changing everything, that's changing a world full of debt. McDonald's starting salary makes more than 90% of those people. This isn't to dump on those people, by the way. This MLM as a rule, it just doesn't work. Guys, I always tell you, MLMs are scams built to enrich the very people at the very top and basically no one else. And to make money, you have to.
So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is not to badmouth anybody at all, but I love the way these two guys broke this down. I love it because they broke it down exactly the way MLM insurance distribution works. Now, multi-level marketing distribution with other products, I have no issues with that. Relationship marketing works. But when you combine it with insurance sales, it gets crazy. I'm talking about chargebacks. I'm talking about, losing agents because they're not making money. And this video right here proves what the other gentleman was talking about. He shared with us all the recruits that you need to make, the compensation, and he talked about how these organizations are motivated by recruiting. And then when you take a closer look at their income disclosure statement, 64% of thousands of agents that work with this company made $200 in 1 year. I really want you to think about that. So as you're considering going into 2023, and you're considering getting your insurance license to sell insurance, I hope this really helped you guys to determine which route is going to be best for you. If you're an influencer and you love the multi-level marketing and selling the sizzle and the dream, then maybe this is the route for you, but you're going to go through thousands of agents. Or you can take a route as an independent agent where the focus is not so much recruiting, but the focus is sales training, closing, and service to your clients. I always tell my agents, when they sell one policy of final expense a day, 5 times a week, even on a 60% contract, they will gross $100,000. If they do 2 applications 5 times a week, every month, they'll be over $200,000 on a 60 to 70% contract. If you do 3, it's safe to say you'll be able to do over $300,000. I started my career selling insurance, not recruiting. Now, recruiting is a part of our business because we need people to sell insurance, service the community. But at what cost? Because every single one of these agents that signs on and takes an advance, regardless if they're taking a 30% contract like this company or a 40% contract, but 64% of them only made $200 a year, I can bet you that the chargebacks are through the roof. But no one's talking about that. And that is a part of our business. A chargeback is when a client stops paying and the company, the carrier, needs that commission back. That's a chargeback. And it can get out of hand real fast. And it can put certain people out of business. So I really enjoyed the way these two gentlemen broke it down. I recommend you guys, subscribe to CoffeeZilla. He's a cool cat. He's funny. But I hope this helped you guys, especially as we're ending this year and you're really considering getting into the insurance business. Right now is the best time to get into this business. The need for insurance is high. Final expense is never going anywhere. In fact, 83% of people that purchase life insurance, when they were asked why they did it, they all said to cover funeral expenses or final expenses. So there's a big need for it. And, again, this wasn't meant to bash anybody, but it really is designed to give you guys information so you guys can make a decision. And if you decide to go down the route of relationship marketing through MLM insurance distribution, I wish you the best. I hope this video helped you. But I'd recommend you consider an independent route and build from there. So with that said, my friends, you guys have a great night. Happy Wednesday and enjoy your holidays. Bye-bye.
People underneath you. Now the thing is,
Let me get this here.